Welcome to the Mark Warsh Show, where we bring you the latest news and analysis on the most talked about issues of the day. Today, we'll be discussing Pete Buttigieg's slow response to a catastrophic train derailment, the Biden administration's efforts to engage with Africa, and Vivek Ramaswamy's candidacy for the presidency of the United States. Plus, we'll be taking a look at the growing budget deficit in California and exploring Keith Olbermann's call to shut down Fox News. And finally, we'll be talking about Jen Psaki's new role at MSNBC. So buckle up, because it's time to dive into the world of politics and current events. In February 2023, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg admitted to a slow response to the disastrous train derailment in Ohio. Buttigieg spoke out about the incident that occurred on February 3, 2023 in East Palestine, Ohio, close to the border with Pennsylvania. A train carrying hazardous materials had derailed, causing the release of toxic chemicals into the air, surface soils, and surface water. The chemicals burned for 3 days, leading to ecological and health concerns in the area. Eventually, a controlled release and burn was carried out to prevent an explosion. Buttigieg's slow response to the incident drew criticism, with some accusing him of being a no-show. In response to the backlash, Buttigieg admitted that he could have spoken out sooner about the incident. However, Buttigieg did not mention the Ohio train derailment during a transportation celebration on the same day, which drew criticism from some. Despite this, Buttigieg spoke out about the incident, acknowledging the need for better disaster response protocols in the future. In recent news, Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, is set to visit Namibia and Kenya as part of the United States' efforts to increase engagement with Africa. In an attempt to counteract China's influence on the continent, this visit is a clear indication of the current administration's intention to strengthen its relationships with African countries. So we're sending in the big guns, Dr. Jill herself. Overall, these developments highlight the complexity and diversity of the political landscape in the United States and abroad. The Biden administration's efforts to engage with Africa and counter China's influence on the continent show the U.S. government's global perspective, and this is a great plan. We offer up Dr. Jill to talk about women and children, and China offers them the promise of wealth and food security. Find out which is the better strategy on the Mark Warsh World War III Emergency Ham radio broadcast, coming to you soon. Find out which is the better strategy on the Vivek Ramaswamy, a conservative entrepreneur, healthcare and tech sector entrepreneur and author, declared his candidacy for the presidency of the United States on February 21, 2023. He made the announcement during a live interview with Fox News' Tucker Carlson. Ramaswamy is well known for his conservative commentary in opposition to what he refers to as woke culture. Ramaswamy is the CEO of Roivant Sciences, a biotech company, and has a net worth of over $1 billion. He was born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1985 and graduated from Harvard College and Yale Law School. Ramaswamy has also authored a book, Woke Inc. Inside Corporate America's Social Justice Scam, which was released in 2002. During the interview with Tucker Carlson, Ramaswamy expressed his commitment to reviving the ideals that he believes have been lost in the United States. He stated that his candidacy would center on preserving freedom of speech and opposing the ideology of the woke movement, which he believes has taken over much of American society. As a GOP presidential candidate, Ramaswamy faces tough competition from other Republican candidates. The 2024 presidential election is expected to be highly contested, with many potential candidates vying for the nomination of their respective parties. Ramaswamy has yet to release a detailed policy platform, but his anti-woke stance is likely to be a central theme of his campaign. Join the fight for truth and show your support for Mark Warsh with our exclusive merchandise. From premium metal signs to stylish t-shirts, we've got everything you need to show your love for the conservative talk show host and his mission to uncover the truth. Because we are fiercely independent, all proceeds going to support the channel, you can feel good about your purchase knowing that you're making a difference. Head over to www.markwarshshow.com now to check out our selection of Mark Warsh merchandise and show your support today. Welcome back to the show, where we bring you the latest news and analysis on hot topics from around the world. Today we're discussing California's budget deficit and how it may be even worse than previously thought. Last week, the California Legislative Analyst's Office, LAO, a government agency that analyzes the budget for the state legislature, released a report estimating that Governor Gavin Newsom's forecast of the state's budget deficit may have underestimated the mark by about $7 billion. That's a significant amount of money and could have a major impact on California's fiscal future. So why is the deficit so much larger than predicted? Well, one major reason is a shortfall in tax revenues. California's tax revenues are already much lower this year than they were last year. In fact, in January, the state's monthly tax revenue was about $14 billion lower than during the same month in 2022. That's a huge drop and indicates that the state is facing some serious economic challenges. One of the reasons for this shortfall is that tax revenue from the top 0.5% of taxpayers, who pay 40% of California's state income tax, has decreased. Additionally, capital gains are also being affected, with Silicon Valley tech companies facing volatile equity prices as they lay off employees and cut bonuses amid fears of a possible recession. Another potential issue that's hurting California's tax revenue is the exodus of residents to other states. Wealthy Californians who pay higher taxes are particularly likely to leave the state, which is a major concern for state officials. This could lead to a further decrease in tax revenue, making it even more difficult for California to balance its budget. Finally, spending remains above historically recent peaks, which means that it's unlikely that tax revenues will be high enough over the next few years to afford California's projected spending levels. This is a major issue and could force the state to make some difficult decisions about its budget in the coming years. Overall, California is facing some serious economic challenges, and it's clear that the state will need to make some tough choices about its budget in the coming years. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story and bringing you the latest updates as they become available. Stay tuned. Keith Olbermann, a former MSNBC propagandist, recently called for the shutdown of Fox News, claiming it is a threat to national security. Olbermann's unhinged remarks are evidence of the increasing political polarization in the media landscape and a gross admission of his own fascist fantasies. As media fragmentation and political polarization continue to shape the media landscape, it is important to prioritize critical thinking, fact-checking, and open-mindedness in consuming and interpreting news. Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary under President Joe Biden, left her role as press secretary in December 2021 and will be joining MSNBC this fall. However, there have been legal battles surrounding Psaki, as lawyers for both Psaki and the Department of Justice have fought against her deposition in a case that is taking place in Louisiana. Despite the federal judge in Louisiana ordering Psaki to sit for a deposition, Psaki and the DOJ attempted to prevent it from taking place. The program will air on Sunday afternoons and will compete with other Sunday news shows. Psaki's supporters have noted that Dana Perino, a former press secretary for President George W. Bush, works for Fox News and will push back against critics who question the move. Overall, Jen Psaki is set to embark on a new chapter in her career as a host on MSNBC, but her legal battles suggest that her time as press secretary may not have been entirely free of controversy. And now a heartfelt poem from Mark Warsh. What you're doing is not illegal, though it may make some feel quite regal. You lie with such a straight-faced skill, and MSNBC is where you fit the bill. It's not that we think it's wrong for you to spin a tale so strong, it's just that we must confess. You could make more money with finesse. At CNN, they'd pay you more, and you could really start to soar. Your talents would be put to good use, and you'd make more without excuse. But still, we must admit with pride, at MSNBC, you do quite reside. Your way with words, your way with spin, is quite a gift. We must begin, so keep on doing what you do. With your straight face and words so true, and though you could make more, we see MSNBC is where you're meant to be. Thank you for joining us on the show today. We hope you found our discussion inspiring and informative, and we hope it has encouraged you to think more critically and deeply about the world around us. We believe that knowledge is power, and we're proud of you for taking the time to educate yourself and become a more informed citizen. So, if you like this content, come join me on social media and follow the show for the next episode. Until next time, stay informed and stay safe.